Guys, it's me, Miss Strasser here. Hopefully things are going well so far. Today we're going to be looking at our next set of explorers from France. So this would be a great time, if you haven't already, to pause and get out your notes-taking page. You need to be in the area where you see French explorers. That's the three we're going to be looking at today. And be ready to take notes as I write. Feel free to pause as we go along. But please make sure you listen to the things that I'm saying while you're writing the stuff that's highlighted, because I might be saying some extra things about these people that you either want to take into account. Maybe you want to write extra, but we don't want to skip ahead or anything. So our first person is Jacques Cartier. I'm going to try to use my French accent when I'm talking today. This man has a very interesting looking, serious face here. He looks like he's really thinking hard about something. So, he sailed in 1534 for King Francis I of France. Ironically enough, the King of France was named King Francis. And his goal for sailing was he wanted to find the Northwest Passage to Asia. I'm kind of thinking that some of the things that we are talking about when it comes to explorers are also maybe some things that we are seeing in our independent reading mini lessons, I should say, not independent reading, the mini lessons. He also wanted to find gold in the New World. I know that we read about the New World and explorers last week. We read about that water passage to Asia. He was part of that. What were his important findings? Well, he led 3 expeditions. He tried 3 times, and he explored the St. Lawrence River. Not necessarily super accomplished on the end that he actually wanted to find, but he did find the St. Lawrence River, led 3 expeditions, and was obviously famous enough to have his name in a 5th grade social studies lesson. So, if you need more time to write, feel free to pause, but I am going to continue on to our next human named Samuel de Champlain. He looks a little bit more of like a goober. He's got that swirly mustache and the goatee action going on here. Very interesting look. He sailed from 1603 to 1609 for King Henry of France. He gave a little bit more time and dedication to his journeys here. You can see he was in it for 6 years. And he wanted permanent French settlements, and he wanted to discover new lands of North America. So he was one of the people that did try to find North America. That was kind of one of his goals for the French. He was looking for new places for French to settle down, new locations for French people to, make home. And those were kind of his goals. Some things that he did accomplish that he is best known for is he did start the settlements of Port Royal and Quebec City. That is definitely something he is majorly known for, which is why it's highlighted on the slide. He did have friendly relations with various Native American tribes. So he was somebody that was a little bit more well known for having better relationships. If you haven't already, we definitely will continue to look at different explorers that were not super kind to the Native Americans that had already been living there. So he was somebody that was okay with them there. He explored the St. Lawrence River as well. He sailed the coast of Nova Scotia and Cape Cod, super well-known places. He helped the enemies of the Iroquois tribe fight them. This caused war and disputes later on. But again, he's somebody that ended up teaming up with the Native Americans, which is really interesting. You don't see that very often. And then he sailed and charted the Great Lakes. So he is somebody that's super well known for the Great Lakes that we have. He was somebody that discovered them and kind of mapped them himself. And this kind of opened up the interior of North America. And what I mean by that is everybody that explored North America stopped when they got to the coast, right? Florida, the Carolinas, up in the tip by Maine and New York and all that. They would stop there because they found land. But he found the Great Lakes. And so we started to be able to get to discover the interior part of North America, right? The Midwest, all of those big West states. we were able to later on discover those because he made it in farther than the coastline like everybody else. Again, feel free to pause right here if you are still taking notes, but I am going to move on to our third and final person, Mr. Robert de la Salle, one of the most famous French explorers, and you're going to see why here in a second. All of his findings are highlighted here at the bottom because of how significant this explorer was. So, he sailed for King Louis of France. Obviously, we're looking at French explorers, so all of these people are originating in France, and they're trying to find things for their king. His goal was to map and chart the Mississippi River. So, his goal was to not only find it, but he was kind of one of those explorers that really wanted the glory of getting to be that person that found it. He kind of wanted the pride of saying, "Yep, I did this. This is me." That's kind of what he is known for. So, some of his important findings here, there are several. So, he established Fort Niagara. That word should sound familiar to you. He led a team of French and Native Americans all the way to the mouth of the Mississippi River. So another person here that worked with Native Americans and took French men with him. And they made it all the way to the opening of the Mississippi River. He claimed the entire river valley for France, along with all the tributaries and land touching it. What that basically means is when he did make it to the Mississippi River and the valley that's around it, he said, this belongs to the French. And anything that is near it, anything that's touching it, this is for France. He established Fort Miami and Fort Crèvecoeur, and then he named Louisiana. So if you go back up to here, he was sailing for his king, King Louis. That is where we get the name of the state, Louisiana, because this man, this explorer, when he found Louisiana and claimed that territory near the Mississippi River, he honored his king by naming it after him. So that is our 3 French explorers for today. There will be a video attached below that I'm going to ask you to just quickly watch about these 3 people, and then you will be good to go. Make sure that you go back if you missed any notes or any of the highlighted sections that need to be written. Great job, guys. I'm sure that the rest of the day is going to be great.